Does it make a difference if you guys have any healthcare experience or if you guys don't have any healthcare experience when you start your assisted living home? So in this video, I'm actually going to explain that, so make sure you guys stick around. What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys have been showing the channel. If you haven't yet, and if you're new, go ahead, go request yourselves into the Facebook group that I've created called Legion Assisted Living Academy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. What difference does it actually make if you have any healthcare experience and if you don't have any healthcare experience? From my personal experience, as many of you guys know, I've actually worked as a CNA for 3 years in the ICU and then also in a nursing home prior to working in the ICU as a CNA. And then I went to nursing school, graduated from nursing school, that whole spiel. Now, what I've been able to do when I started my assisted living home, I am 23 years old right now. And so what I was able to do was leverage my experience being in the healthcare field towards my advantage and towards having families trust me with their loved ones. Now, the thing is, if you're young right now and you're wanting to start assisted living, you are going to want to have some type of healthcare experience to be able to leverage towards wanting families to move their loved ones into your home. If you do not have any healthcare experience and you're young, most likely they're not going to be able to trust you, and you're probably most likely not going to be able to get residents into your home. Now, that's me being honest with you guys, because a lot of things that I get when someone comes towards the home, a family member comes in towards the home, is that they do say that I look young and that I am young. And the thing is, when they ask me, what is it that got you into this industry? What is it that you have done previously to be able to allow you or give you the confidence to take care of our loved one? And so that's what I've been asked a lot because I'm so young. Now, for people that are older than me, you guys are able to actually leverage your life experience to be able to allow families to trust you guys. You guys don't necessarily need to have any healthcare experience, really. And another thing is, for families, a lot of people that are placing their loved ones, the demographic is about 35 to even 55. And if you are in that demographic, you are able to actually just relate to them and talk about more life experiences, and therefore they're able to just trust you guys based off of knowing that you guys have gone through life and that you've struggled and that you've gone through different trials and you just have that life experience. And another thing is, having healthcare experience is not only going to help you in the aspect of having families trust you, but when it comes to actually getting more credentials. For instance, when I went to go get my manager's license, you are required to have 2,080 hours as a requirement in order to be able to get your manager's license. I was able to have that 2,080 hours because I worked as a CNA previously for 3.5 years, okay? I believe when I called the place that I used to work at to get my, to see how many hours I had worked there, I believe I was at like 4,000 something hours plus. So I had that experience already. And so that was able to meet the requirement to be able to go get my manager's license, which now I do have, and I'm able to actually use that in my home and in another home that I get paid for. So having that healthcare experience is only gonna be more beneficial to you to be able to go get your manager's license. And so I do know other homeowners who do not have any type of healthcare experience. They have different careers, or they did have different careers prior to starting their assisted living. And for them to be able to go get their manager's license, they're going to have to work as a caregiver for those 2,080 hours, and they may be in their 30s, 40s, 50s already. And some homeowners just don't want to bother with that, because not only do they have to get those 2,080 hours already, they also have to do another 40-hour course in order to get that prereq, and then they have to go to sit down for the state exam, and then therefore they get their manager's license. And so a lot of homeowners, a lot of investors that get into this business and get into this industry don't want to even bother with that. So that is another benefit of having healthcare experience, is that you're able to actually leverage it to be able to give you more credentials or get more credentials down the road. Now, if you don't have any healthcare experience, that's okay. You can still get into this business, you can still start, but it's just gonna be a little harder for you. Not that that should scare you away from starting. It's just it's the truth and it's the fact. I've seen from my personal experience how much it's actually benefited me to have my healthcare experience. And it's been, looking back on it, I didn't think that it would ever benefit me. But in hindsight now, I'm just so thankful and grateful that I did take the route that I did take and was able to get that experience. And then another thing is that if you do have healthcare experience and you are an RN or a physician, as of April 1st, I didn't mention this, as kind of like a little deal you guys can look up as well. If you are gonna go through the SBA financing route, you do have to be a nurse or some type of healthcare professional. You guys will not be able to get any type of SBA financing as of April 1st if you're just someone who doesn't have any healthcare experience. So that is another benefit to having healthcare experience. So it's all the people in the healthcare industry right now, you guys are in a huge advantage to get into this industry and to get started. I would highly encourage every single healthcare professional to start looking into this industry and to get started, because back 5-10 years ago, anyone could start. The barrier of entry was really low. Now it's actually a lot more competitive, and since it's a lot more competitive, the thing that I'm seeing is that if you have that healthcare benefit of having that experience, is you are going to be able to leverage it to be able to beat your competition because of that experience. Currently, there's just because it's still a low barrier of entry, because anyone can really go and get a home zoned and licensed. It's not necessarily the hardest thing to do, but the thing that's going to make you guys different than just anybody going and starting is the fact that you guys will be able to leverage that experience to gain families' trust, to be able to read medications, and you guys know how to do MARS, you know how to do ADLs, you know how to do multiple things when it comes to paperwork. You guys already have the knowledge. You guys have already gone through the education aspect, right? You guys have already gone through the schooling. So you guys are able to see adverse effects, right? You're able to identify certain symptoms that normally who's not a healthcare professional wouldn't be able to recognize, right? And that's why it's a big deal. And not only that, but it gives you guys more confidence when it comes to you guys starting your home. You guys will have a lot more confidence when you're not scared of death, you're not scared to do CPR, you're not scared of certain situations that may occur at home, you're not scared of falls. The fear is a lot more, it's a lot less when you have healthcare experience, because you know how to handle a situation like that. Whereas if you've never really dealt with death, or you've never given CPR, or you haven't ever done any of this stuff, or even given a medication, right? And you just don't, your confidence when it comes to certain situations that are going to happen in the home, you're most likely going to freeze, and you're going to put that resident and that family in grave danger, and potentially doing worse to your business than you would have thought. So with that being said, for physicians and people who have their own practice, it's like a business. And so if you have that business mentality, but you also have that caring compassion, and you have that experience of being in the healthcare field, guys, it's going to help so much. You have to have both. You have to have that business mentality. You can't let people walk all over you. You got to make smart financial decisions. And then you also got to have that compassion. You got to have both. You can't have either or. And that's the only way to really be successful in this industry, and it will show. Guys, don't think that you can just fake it till you make it. You can't do that. And so for anyone thinking that it's just going to be a breeze coming in, getting your home all set up and all this, it's not going to happen that way. It's clear as day. You could see who's actually really good at what they do with assisted living, and you can see who's just kind of like faking it and really just doing it more as a business and making it more about just them. So guys, be very cautious of that. So my ultimate, conclusion to all of this is that if you do have healthcare experience, it's going to benefit you a lot more when it comes to getting families to trust you, to being able to take care of your residents, seeing certain situations that come up, you guys will be able to handle them. And then your credentials, you'll be able to go get your administrative license, your manager's license, whatever it's called in your state. You guys will be able to go that because a lot of them will require that you have healthcare experience. And then you'll also be able to get a special financing when it comes to SBA financing and even banks. Banks, if they do finance on certain properties or certain businesses, they will see that you do have experience in that field. So therefore, you're a lot more credible. Now, for the people who don't have any experience, the conclusion is things are going to be a little harder for you. It's going to be more work on your end on trying to get the families to trust you. Secondly, when it comes to going and getting your administrative license or your manager's license, you're going to have to work harder for that as well because you previously don't have any experience. When it comes to financing, you're most likely not going to be able to get it because you don't have any of the experience. Maybe after a year or so of doing your assisted living, you'll be able to get some type of financing, but from the get-go, you won't be able to. And so those are pretty much the things that I wanted to touch on when it comes to having either healthcare experience or not having healthcare experience. So to all the people who have healthcare experience, you guys are in a good place, in a good position to be able to have a successful assisted living. For people who don't, it's not that people haven't been able to do it. They have, and I know a lot of homeowners who do not have any type of healthcare experience. They've been able to start their homes and they're successful at it, but I've noticed that it's a lot harder for them and it's a lot more stressful. So with that being said, guys, if you guys got a ton of insight from this video, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I will link the Facebook group that I created called Legion Assisted Living Academy down below. So make sure you guys go request yourselves into that group. So guys, thank you if you made it all the way to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. God bless. Peace.